Hi guys, today we are tying your basic game changer. Now we're tying a olive game changer here. Okay, you can see. Now with the game changers, when you're looking at a basic game changer, they're pretty simple. It's only actually a few steps that you're actually doing, just repetitive steps. Probably the longest part of this tying this fly is actually shaping it with your scissors after, which is kind of fun, but it is daunting. It does take a while. But when you're doing your basic game changer here, it is pretty simple. Like I said, just a few steps. So I'll show you how to do that. We're going to start with some fish skull fish spines. Okay, I am actually the 10 millimeter. I'm actually going to clip off the end of this. You can get some fish spines that have the tail pieces in it. This one doesn't, so I'm actually going to clip the end here. Just clip off the end, and I'll show you that. I'm just going to put it in my hackle plier here so I don't have it flying everywhere. So let me see here if I can. So there you go. Okay, we're going to stick that little piece in the end. Okay, into your vise. And we just want to grab the end there. Okay, there we go. So because we are doing an olive, greenish type of game changer, we're going to be using some olive thread, and this is a 6/0 olive thread, UTC. We're just going to start our thread on there. Now I want you to grab a couple pieces of marabou, and I'm just going to grab the tips here. I do with all my marabou, and strip down just the shorter fibers out of the way. And I'm actually going to get rid of that. Now when you have this piece here, just wet your fingers just so it's a little bit easier to control. Okay. Now you can make your tail as long as you want. You could shape it after the fact, but we're going to do it about an inch and a half. And we're going to tie that in. Again, just take your time. We'll get rid of all these little excess pieces here, and then we'll snip it down after the fact, nice and tight. There we go. If there's any little fibers, you can clip them, you can cut them out. And this is a little bit more difficult part, not by much, but we're going to turn the vise upside down. If you don't have a rotary vise, just take out the spine, reverse it, and put it back in. We'll grab another piece of marabou and do exactly the same thing with the same measurement. Like I said, I'm doing about an inch and a half. In nice and secure. Bring that back all the way around. Get that marabou out of the way, the bottom pieces. There we go. Now, this is where it becomes pretty well simple, just repetitive. We're going to be grabbing some of this Chocolates Game Changer chenille in olive. This is an olive brown actually. So just want to cut a little piece off. You don't need much on this first part because the spine is so short. And we just want to pull out some of the fibers so we can tie it down just like you would with any other chenille. Okay. And we're just going to secure that in. And now we're just going to wrap it around. And as you're doing this, if you have a very short piece, you can grab your hackle pliers and you want to palmer that back. You want to pull that back with your fingers. There we go. And just like you would do with any other hackle or whatnot, just kind of wiggle your thread there. Okay. Just want to tighten up my thread here. And there we go. Now we're going to pull that back. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. And to kind of secure it in there, you can whip finish it. You can do what you want to that. Get rid of all these little fibers if you want. Sometimes they do get in the way. Okay, you just want to put a little bit of head cement in there. Okay, and that's secure basically. If you did want to put in like, you know, you wanted to just basically put in another maybe a couple of whip finish turns, that's fine. And then you're going to cut your thread. And now we're going to tie in another little 10 millimeter spine. And sometimes it's better to put it in your hackle pliers, especially if you got bigger fingers. It's a lot easier to do. And you're just going to push in on that. There you go, just like that. And again, with smaller spines, if you want to keep your hackle pliers on that, that's great. We're gonna move it, and we're actually gonna put it in our vise again, the same position, just with the tip there. Try to get it in just as much as you can. Okay. Now we're gonna tie in our thread, and be careful about the where the spine goes, how it connects here. It is very sharp, so just be delicate. Build up your thread base there, and we're going to cut another piece of chenille and do exactly the same thing. It becomes a lot easier when you have the bigger spines on. Okay. And we're going to tie that in there. Okay, and we'll do the exactly same thing. This is a little bit bigger piece, so I'm not using my hackle pliers right now. And you just, you know, some of this stuff does not cooperate, so you really want to push it back with your fingers. Okay. Wind your thread through there, and sometimes, like again, depending on the thickness of the chenille, this is a large. You might have a difficult time with getting the thread through. Okay, so You see how much we have there, right? So I'm actually going to wrap it right there and then clip off some of this excess here. And a couple wraps to secure that back. Okay, you can put a whip finish on it. Any sort of knot will do, but I mean, just enough to secure it because we are putting head cement on there. So don't worry too much about it. Just clip off your thread there. Clean that up a bit. If you get some of the fibers stuck in the eye, just take your bobkin and just kind of make sure everything's nice and smooth there. Okay, and we'll drop a little bit of head cement on those thread wraps. And then any time that you think you're trapping a lot of fibers, just grab your comb and just kind of brush it out there. But we'll do that at the end also. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is grab some 20mm spine, and this is where it becomes a lot easier to wrap and you know, just go along with the fly. Want to slip that through again, and I'm just going to attach that into the vise there, which you can. There we go. And we're going to wrap, secure a thread there. Sometimes that does get in the way, so don't worry too much about it. You can pull that away once you have your thread secured. And just take it easy with that. Again, don't cut your thread on that. And you want to make sure everything is back there. So you want to make sure again that you're just clipping, you're just grabbing the edge of that spine. Okay, and now we're just going to repeat this step a couple more times. Again, this is where it becomes a little bit simpler because you do have more room to work with. And you want to wrap that back as much as you can, still just leaving enough room for the spine behind it to wiggle. And now we're just going to wind, pull back, again pull back, and you can tie this in many different colors. You can change the colors between spines, which is great for if you want to do a let's say a rainbow pattern or whatnot, brown trout pattern. And basically 4-turn whip finish is fine. Again, don't forget you are putting head cement between each step. I would recommend, which gives it a little bit more added security. Okay. Now we're going to do another spine in there. Nice. Another 20mm. Oops. I do use my hackle pliers just because my fingers are a little bit bigger. And we'll just slip that back there. There we go. another piece. Again, as you can see, you're just repeating steps with the chenille and the spines. Wrap that forward. Nice and tight. Make sure you're holding that back again, just like you were doing hackle, and wrapping it. Kind of wiggle that in there, your thread. Now, there you go. You want to secure that again. Like you put in a half inch knot, or whatever you want to do. You can whip finish it. Sometimes using the whip finisher is a little difficult because there's not much room in there. A little bit of head cement. And like I said, you can brush it out now. Take it out of your vise and just give it some brush. You can see how it's starting to look. And we're just going to put that aside right now. And now we're using number 6 large salmon egg hook. And we're just going to put that in our vise there. Okay. Grab your thread and just start just back of the eye. Secure that in. I'll wrap it back right to about the barb, and then back up again. So now on this one, a lot of people use different ways to secure the spine to the hook. What I will be using right now is fluorocarbon, actually. Maximum fluorocarbon in a 20-pound test. Okay. I'm just going to get some of that. Basically, that's what it is right there. You can use bead chain, wire, different things. So we're going to secure the fluorocarbon to one side of the hook, and I'll show you why that is in a second. Okay, we're just going to wrap that back there and secure that all the way to the back where we have our threads. Now we're gonna loop through what we did with our game changer. Just gonna loop it through the fish spine eye, and we're gonna bring that all the way back here. And basically what you're doing is here you're just building a little loop, but you want to do it from side to side on the shank of the hook and not on top. Okay, so we're just going to secure that in there. Again, just some gingerly wraps to get it where you want it secured. Now we can start tightening that down, and at this point you can see where it is the rest of the game changer at the back. If you think it's too far away, you just pull on the fluorocarbon, and there we go, where you want it to. Now you can start reefing it down, and what I like to do is fold it over. Now secure it nice and tight there. just clip it off. Now we're going to tie in our last little part of the chenille. You want to cut a little bit bigger piece off because this is a little bit longer shank of a hook compared to the spines. And literally we are tying it in just the exact same way. Wrapping it forward. Okay. A little bit more trickier because you do have the hook in the way. So we're just going to start wrapping it. Once you pass the hook point, it becomes a lot easier. Again, don't forget you want to pull those fibers back. And you can make this, as you can see, you can make this in any size you want. You can make those little micro ones, or you can make larger ones for pike, muskie. That's about where I want to stop myself. It's all up to you. You can go as close to the eye as you want, but we do want to build some sort of little finishing head on that. Oop. As you can see there, I just clipped my my thread off. Not to worry. It's happened to me before. As long as nothing unravels, and you can secure that in there nice, just like that. All is saved. We're just going to build a nice little head here, nothing too large. Okay, just want to secure that last little bit in there. And again, you can grab your whip finisher, or you can do it by hand. This is where you want to clean up around the eye a bit. And we're going to add in some head cement there. And on the bottom, okay, so now this is where kind of the fun part, if you want to call it, comes in. We're going to be putting in some eyes on the side. So you want to kind of take your scissors, and where you're going to be putting in those eyes, you want to kind of just clip it down on both sides. Okay. And you can start just by getting rid of some of this excess on the head, just so you can see where those eyes are going to go in. Okay. So as far as eye size goes, it's up to you. What you're going to be needing is some super glue and some fish gall eyes. And the secret is not using too small of an eye, because there's no way in hell you're going to get super glue not on the rest of your fly. So you just want to, just a dab, nothing crazy. And if you have to, you can use your forceps or whatnot, and you just want to position those eyes right on the side, and I'm just showing you there. I'm just gonna kind of squeeze that in there. Now you want to grab another eye and do exactly the same thing. Like I said, it's not a difficult pattern at all. At all. Okay. The only difficult part is if you have big fingers and you're using smaller eyes. Once you have your eyes positioned, kind of just take your fingers, index finger and thumb, squeeze it in nice and tight, okay? Just give that a second and that will glue itself. And now the fun part begins. So you just want to start shaping the head, and I'll show you something here where you always want to have your scissors on an angle going down, because towards the tail is where it's going to get thinner. Well, welcome back, guys, and I've to a certain degree finished trimming my Game Changer, but I mean I could still see as I'm looking here where else I'm going to clip it a bit. But I mean, it's all up to you how much you want to clip it in the shape that you want. But that is it, your basic olive Game Changer. And you can change up the colors as you're winding in the chenille on your spine to make different patterns and different lengths and different eyes. You can add in whatever you want to this. So again, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.